Hi everyone, it's critique time and I'm going to work with three images that I received this week. The first one, this is from Irene, and I'm hoping that you can actually see this. But what I did was I took an old demo and I tried to interpret some of the areas that Irene has in this poppy right here. And so down here, I kind of exaggerated. I know it's hers. There's a little softer than these big old dark marks that I have here. However, I was hoping to show just to show you all how to get these petals more unified. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with showing you my palette, and I'm going to start with, I usually have a couple brushes handy and ready to go. Hopefully they're all clean. I did scrub them, and I know Guy will like that. My partner, Guy Magellanis. He loves his clean water, and I drive him crazy with my dirty water. But anyway, um, so so I'm going to have a couple brushes ready, and if you're more comfortable, and I know a lot of people are more comfortable with the round brush, you can have that ready as well. Okay, and I'm going to have a round brush ready as well. Now I'm going to show you my palette, and I want you to see this palette. Here we go. Let's see if I can get that in there. Okay, so this palette, I took a workshop this year with, a few months ago with Kathleen Alexander, and she uses this type of palette. It's a San Francisco flat or slant, and you can pile one on top of another, and then it keeps your pigments nice and fresh. And it's perfect for the way she paints. For me, I usually use the tins, the baker tins or enamel tins. I like that, but I like this too because it really makes me sit down and think about my colors and what I'm going to apply to my painting. So to start off with, for Irene, I'm sorry, there's an Eileen in this class too, and I'm doing that. Okay, so take a little bit of your red tones, whatever that may be, right in here. And I see you started doing exactly what I'm going to show you. You started splitting apart the stamens, and you added a little more red here and there. And under here, that's a tricky part because on our photo reference, it has an actual yellow patch, it looks like, but then it does have the stamens on top. So how you can, you can go in and fiddle with this just a little bit with some more yellow. You can put a little yellow on your brush and come on in. And you can actually, have a little bit more movement. So you can see that there are some stamens, that it doesn't just, go all the way around and then stop abruptly. And you can do a negative painting. You can paint over the yellow patch portion and then bring it back in, and then you can see some of the stamens that are going to be working on top, okay? So right in here, you're going to have a little bit more movement, and you don't have to do a lot, just a little bit for right now, okay? And these suggestions in this critique are just that, they're suggestions, and it's not something you have to apply right away. And you might want to even wait to apply some of my suggestions after your background's put in, because sometimes it's hard to read how dark you're supposed to go. And I would suggest that for sure. Now, another thing that I think is really a fun part of this painting, I'm taking permanent alizarin crimson. Look, my brush is right there. Permanent alizarin crimson and phthalo green, or the Windsor green blue shade, and it makes a nice real dark, dark, dark. And you can come in, and I noticed you did do that up here. You can actually, begin to add some of that down in this area. Okay, and it starts, see how that gives it a little bit more depth. It looks like it's further in. I'm going to put some on this poor piece, this poor demo. Actually, this demo had a lot of paint on it, and I washed all the paint off so I could so I can use it for this class. I think next time I teach this class, though, however, I probably should start painting a painting right along with you guys, and so it's nice and fresh. So okay, so for that right there, you know, just start adding a little bit, and you can start seeing it work in your favor. Up in here, and I love, you know, this green. I lost my green every time I've done my paintings, and I see the greens that you all bring out, and I just love it. It looks great. Also, the curvature that you have going on here is perfect. You know, because you want to find the curve of the petals, and however, what happens with these dark shapes in here, your eye goes directly there for right now. You know, I know once your background's in, and I'll show you an example if I were to put a little bit of a darker value right next to this. So if you come in and you put in a darker value right next to it, I'm going to get it really dark. You can see that it's not, it might not stand out as much as it does with the white background right now. That's just an example, right? See, and now you can see that this pops right here. But still, you don't have enough values in this area. And how do we fix that? Well, it's fairly easy. It's just a matter of applying some more glazes. I'm probably telling you something that you already know. So my apologies for repeating myself. But anyway, so I'm mixing the permanent alizarin crimson, and all you have to do is come in here and glaze right over those darks. Okay, and so see how I'm getting, it allows me to have a few more values in this petal. And right here, you could do that right about here. And I know you want to leave some of this light because there is light there. So you know, you can do that too. Just leave some of the light and then just glaze back into some of this area here. And then what you get is you get more values in this petal right here, and you'll get more values, and this will pop forward. Okay, so I suggest that, you know, you come along and find some of those areas that may need a little bit of glazing. And the great thing about this is that when you are glazing, you can actually come in and glaze next to the darks or over the darks if you like. And I'm still leaving a little bit of a highlight here. And let's see, can you see that on the monitor? I'm trying to see. Yeah, and then you can take a little bit more here. And then still, this is going to still pop a little bit, maybe a little too much, this dark area. So you just need to find areas where you can actually add more dark. So it looks more unified, and it's not just one dark shape. So you can pull those darks in here, and trying to see if that, if you can see that. Because sometimes the way the light hits the canvas while the pigment is still wet, it looks a little different than once it's dried. So you can come on in here, okay. And just keep adding, you know, pop a little bit more darks in there, a little bit more red next to that. And there you have it. So you'll just keep moving it around and around. And eventually this will all start to read a little bit more evenly. That's all we're looking for, is distributing our values throughout, and not just having, you know, a patch of dark here, because you can see where it's starting to work, and it's making this petal pop forward. But you just need to dissolve this, the hard line that's there, by adding a little bit more pigment and a little bit more movement. Okay, so up in here, this looks fantastic because I know the shadow is exactly that. And what I would suggest for that area is a slight difference in value in here. Even though it's in shadow, you're still going to see some of the movement of the petals. Okay, you can let it come on out like so. Okay, and you can soften, soften, and just soften. So those hard edges, those hard lines become shapes, not lines. Okay, very good. So keep moving forward, and I would, you know, for right now, what I would do is do the background first, and then you can come back and take my suggestions if you like to add the add your values in, and it'll probably be easier for you to read, and then start to see a sense of the flower. Okay, so now I'm going to go